All right, recording started. Let's do this. Welcome to the Boneyard Podcast, guys. This week we have guests WLL Legendary and my boy Jraye returning. This week we got some spicy hot takes from Legendary. We've talked a little bit before this, and obviously we got the cool Jraye to calm it back down. If you guys aren't, go ahead and follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Jraye streams on Twitch almost every night, and then Legendary makes some bomb-ass content on YouTube. I don't want to steal their thunder. I'm going to go ahead and let these guys introduce themselves. Legendary, why don't we start with you, brother?
Cool, yeah. So I'm Legendary. I'm one of the officers in WL. I tend to think up goofy ideas and kind of rope in the regiment to like follow with my goofy ideas, and that usually ends with us making some cool content. I'm one of the like main teacher guys, like teaching new people how to do Logi, as well as just general stuff like bunker building, doing RD ops, how to spot, how to do naval. So I'm all for like teaching new players how to play the game. I want more people to play Foxhole, so that's my general go at it with playing Foxhole. It's new players first, and then like the two factions after that. So that's my whole spiel. And sometimes I do cool shit and make YouTube shorts about it.
All right. Jraye?
Oh, yeah. I'm Jraye. I stream almost daily on the Twitch and the YouTube. I mostly specialize in the frontline infantry, and by specialize, I mean that is all I do. I have 4,500 hours in the Foxhole, and it's primarily in infantry.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun.
You know, speaking of this, I don't know if I've actually ever introduced myself to my own podcast, funnily enough. I don't think I have. Big Bear Berg, leader of Bone Reggie. I spot through binos 90% of my gameplay. That's all I really do. That's it. I'm in the commander seat or I'm spotting RD. That's literally it. You might see me do some shotgun gameplay, especially now. Shit's gas. Go ahead and check Legendary's video out on that. I know me and Jraye were on the front with him yesterday. I don't think they should be nerfed. I think all the shotguns should be as good as they are. I think they're really fun right now. You feel like the Terminator, you know, fucking MW2 1870s model, you know what I'm saying? The models. Shit feels good. But anyway, to start this one out, I guess the biggest topic is this current war and kind of, I guess, the feelings attached to it, you know, especially the conclusion of last war. You know, kind of run me through what you guys think and how you feel about them ending it early. Do you feel like it's affected this war, or do you feel like this is just a break war for the collies? There's a lot of talk about this stuff on the Reddit, and I'm kind of interested to see, you know, kind of the higher up vets and some of the streamers, what your guys' thoughts are, you know, how last war affected this war, and if you just think that it's a break war kind of thing. What do you guys think?
I could see
You
how
first,
people would absolutely. I could see how people would be a little bit unhappy about how it ended. You know, they put their hard work into that, and then the devs are just like, "Hey, we're going to end this early to give you an update that has made the game a little bit more buggy than we're previously used to." So, yeah, it is what it is. Could be a little bit better.
Well, just before we get to you, Legendary, how, Jraye, do you think we could fix these mistakes? If you know, I call it a mistake what happened. Dev intervention in how it happened and kind of just pushing this update kind of felt really weird. And I feel like if they had a real reason, like if they were really a little bit more transparent with us, other than we need to stick to a number that we said we want this update out to, how could they fix, you know, this from happening again? How would you see a realistic way of them fixing, you know, not cutting a war short, but kind of also telling the players to get on their horses because we do have an update schedule? Or is this just a complete dev failure to communicate? You know, how if you guys if you could, Jraye, how could we fix it moving forward? How would we go about not letting this happen again?
That's a great question. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. We got that airplane update on the horizon, so if we could hopefully get all this figured out by then, that'd be nice. But yeah, I guess a little bit more transparency would go a long way. Just like, hey, I don't think they've famously been great with communicating with the public, but yeah, a little bit more of that would be, I think it would go a long way. Rather than just saying, hey, we're going to end this because it's affecting the update schedule and then just push out a buggy update. It's like, oh, maybe talk to us a little bit more so we can avoid things like this in the future.
Yeah. Legendary, you're up.
So I think I agree that they didn't quite communicate it correctly with Abel. They did it with Charlie. So the Charlie announcement, because Charlie ended before Abel started in the last war. So I do think that when the Charlie war ended, the devs on day one said this war is going to end shorter, and Markford just reminded people. But we did not get that indication at all for Abel. So when we were playing on Abel, and we dropped that second nuke on top of Stain Cradle, well, the first one is Stain Cradle. We were like, cool, okay. Now the war's going to get interesting. We're going to start pushing in that western front because that's where WL's lane was. And yeah, I mean, I think it felt bad for everyone. We were in our. I think we had the best logistical setup that we've ever had. I think the only one that came close to the amount of just stuff that we made in the war was 112, where the component economy was just bonkers. And I mean, I have my favorite war factory setup as my little background here.
That was in
Yeah.
Heartlands at it's that top right corner of the hex, and there was a storage depot there. And I remember picking up triple vetted scorpions and Taloses, and we called that the Boom Factory. Bone went to the Boom Factory every day. We didn't make our own fucking tanks because we're like, WLL's got the fucking stock, dude. We don't need it. I remember that. I like, now that you post that picture, I remember going in that base, and I remember getting a tank from you that you double vetted for me. I remember that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it basically, that was sick. I remember that. It was like 112 was still one of the best wars I've ever had in Foxhole, flat out. Just because like DevMan over tweaked components too much, and we were just like, cool, like MPF tanks like crazy every single day.
You get a tank.
Regardless, the point is,
you
like,
get a tank.
You get a tank. You get a tank.
That's right.
That was the most. I think that was the most spathers in a single storage depot consistently in Foxhole like ever. I think we didn't dip. I think we didn't dip below 200 spathers like
it was
daily.
nuts.
It was just crazy.
Well, and the fact that you guys kept up with ammo too was nuts.
We were running. The continuum was cooking, bro. But besides that, the point I was trying to make here is I think last war, just the amount of like facility setup we had, we were going to outproduce what we were. Like if things were just going to keep going, I think last war we would have outproduced what we did in that war. But instead of it being spathers, it was going to be battle tanks. At some point, Cronus was planning to do a 50 battle tank giveaway. Just like you show up with a crew of like at least 4, and we give you a battle tank fully loaded with a Stolon. Off you go. But then devs cut it short. So
yeah,
it was gonna be crazy. Like we
would have partaken.
Yeah,
Bone would have partaken 100%.
We were planning on covering like that. I don't know if you guys have ever been in Red River before, but just west of Cannon Smoke, there's like a bit of like a flat peninsula. We were gonna cover that peninsula with cranes and just put BTs all over that shit. But yeah, DevMan was like, nah, war's over, move on, because you got 2 more updates before Airborne.
Here's my understanding with the devs here / my frustrations, and I kind of touched on this last week, I personally think if they, like we've all said already, been more transparent, and B, understand that when you're cutting real people's like hours, and this is a game, but like it's a time sink, and we all know that. Especially for the facility guys, when you like intervene, like dev intervention needs to be talked about as a whole. And I feel like the devs really need to kind of explain what they expect their dev intervention to be. I think to strip not even the win or the loss, that's not the biggest problem. It's the, if you guys know what a crescendo is in music, you know, the rally up to the pinnacle, the point, the piste de resistance, the creme de la creme, you know, like the good shit. We were getting to the fucking good shit. Like Bone was going back there and killing BTs, and I know they were doing counter pushes and things weren't easy, and both sides were tooth and nail every day. And the nukes, the fights for the nukes were insane. Naval was going nuts. Like, everything was just going off. And then they're like, hey, you got a day left. We got to update you, bro. And, you know, like, you're kind of getting what I'm saying from what I'm talking about here. I'm getting so excited. And then that A kills player momentum to want to play your game. Because now, like, especially with your update charts, I told Bone at the beginning of this war, I don't want to go super, super hard, because what if they cut this war again short? On their thing in spring, they're supposed to have another update, and they aren't transparent about it. And, you know, they didn't tell us at the beginning of the war. If this is a short war for an update, I think they need to be very cautious when doing stuff like that. I think it really not only even hurt the collies, because I know the collies are hurting this war, but it realistically hurt the wardens too, because all those guys that had super heavies and these boats to defend their, you know, last stand kind of stuff, they had to push them out because they wanted to play with their toys, because they only had a timer left. And you're cutting off so many chances for the game to be sick, you know, and I feel like they got to talk to us and tell us at the beginning of the war and be 100% clear. Because, I mean, I feel bad for WLL. I know you guys were producing crazy. I was tempted to go into your logs and order a BT for components, and I saw you had like 80 fucking some logs in there, and I'm like, oh my god, you know, like, that's 18 hours a piece, dude, and you have 80 logs, and then you cut that short. Like, that's a lot of mana, that's a lot of time, and you just, like, again, where I'm trying to give the grace to the devs, if they have like a big update coming in this next one and they needed this update to be pushed through, tell us this. But we're in the dark and we're just pissed off. And I don't think any player is enjoying Foxhole right now. Like, in all honesty, like, that's a bold statement, because I feel like everyone's, you know, if you're winning or losing, whatever, like, there's someone enjoying the game. You know, I'm playing the game still. But there's no one... It doesn't feel like Foxhole. This war does not feel like Foxhole at all, to me. At least in my opinion. I've played Foxhole since War 84. This does not feel like a good war at all. It feels dirty. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like even a break war. It just feels dirty. It doesn't feel good. And that's shitty, because there's a lot of cool new toys to play with. The gunboat, the new RPG for the wardens, the shotgun upgrades, the Collie Push 250. There's a lot of cool shit in this update, and it could have been a really cool war. I feel like that...
People are burnt out.
Burnt out, and I feel like a lot of people are mad about last war. And I'm not... I want to go into this next point, but to be honest, like, when you start looking at it too, you know, it happened to be when the collies were winning when they did it. And that's not to point out that the devs, you know, have a bias, but that is a point to prove. And I see a lot of collie regiments that have been sole collie go to warden. And I don't have an answer to why. Maybe they just want to try both sides. It could be that innocent, or it could be they're tired of bullshit. You know, I don't have a clear-cut answer on it, but it just feels, I don't know. I feel not good about Foxhole right now. I don't feel happy.
I don't think this is a break war. I think break war is a psyops, personally, when either side say it. But I will say that this is a fucking crash out war. I've seen a lot of guys who are like, people were like full steam, like still ready to like commit and do all the logistic stuff, play on the front line, play with the SPGs, the 10%. We're still, I think mentally, most Foxhole players are still in 122. I think we're still there. And because devs cut it short, literally, like, oh, we're gonna announce a rollout when we want the war to end. Everyone in their mind was like, okay, there's a week left. We need to, like, Wardens were getting ready to push back. I'm fairly sure the Warden logistics guys, like Halbert, were starting to, like, okay, stop BTs, chieftains only, chieftains, like, you know, get ready for that big counterattack. And then it's like, okay, cool, 24 hours later, Mark Foot put down the banner, like dev banner. Okay, done. Move on. Updates coming out now. We got 2 more updates planned. That's what at least they said in the dev update in, you know, like 6 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
2 more updates planned before air. We just gotta we just gotta push stuff out. And I get that devs want to do it. I just think that in future they have a schedule in their mind. They're going to be like, okay, they're going to take like 6 wars to win, or 6 weeks to win. They're going to take like 3 weeks to win with the content's going to come out. They need to be upfront. They need to be upfront with the able players and respect them the same way that they respected the Charlie players. In the Charlie war, they literally said, this war is going to cut short, so push to win. And then Able, we were just like, okay, Able, you guys keep going. And then we got caught in that same hurricane as Charlie did.
Well, and to top on what you're saying here too, I have my calendar pulled up on the stream for people to see. Right here, like theoretically, what month does summer end? Like in my idea, summer ends in August, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months left until they have to have all 3 updates out.
Yes.
These wars might last 60 days, dude. Like that last war, I don't know how many more days it would have taken. It was coming. Like the colleagues were really pushing. The things were really pushing. But who knows if they had a comeback and we hit another stalemate. Like, and my thing is, like, you have 5 months left to push 3 updates. A major update and 2 insignificant ones. Well, I say insignificant. Those can have massive impacts. But my point being, not majors. You have 5 months to do this. I don't know what that timeline looks like anymore.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you, Bear. And I don't want to hijack your podcast, but do you think that Foxhole's ready for airborne? Do we have everything in place? Besides, like, the new shit that they're going to add, like, make the planes and make airfields and stuff, which we're still going to... no one knows what's going to happen with that. All we know a little bit about, like, some of the air combat and some predictions. But do you think... is the game in such a place right now where infantry can still infantry, and that's why Jraye is here, because he's going to give some opinions on about that. Tankers can tank, artillery can artillery, and navy can navy. Are we settled? Is everyone happy for airborne? Because I don't think so. I think we still need 2 more updates, because I think there's still some group of players that need some love, and we had some tastes for it in the November updates of 59. So I think devs need to roll out more stuff. I don't think Foxhole's ready for airborne. The logistical stuff needs some updates. There's some changes that need to happen to Logi, and I think there are some other players that still there are other parts of the game that still needs some major tweaking before the game is ready. And I'm not talking about balance. I'm talking about game mechanics. Balance is a completely different monster for me. I don't really care about balance. I care about game mechanics. Like the tutorial. The tutorial's not ready. We're going to get a massive influx of airport players. Most players still don't put filter in gas mask in tank. People don't do it. So there are some aspects that the devs still need to work on. So I think the two updates are valued, but unfortunately for us to get to that schedule, the devs had to cut 1 to 2 short and kind of screw everyone that was enabled, like pumping for that, like you said, that crescendo. Like we just started that crescendo, but we didn't hit that peak because unfortunately there is still stuff that needs to be worked on.
Well,
And sorry, just one last point.
yeah.
One last point. Uh, every major update that comes out, and I say major update, a major update to me, in my opinion, is when the devs do a dev stream. Every single update that's going to come out has to have at least 2 to 3 weeks of testing, or else we're going to run into a scenario like we did with this war. Like the testing finished 4 weeks ago, and then the war just kept on running, and we've all been playing on the front. We know what it feels like to shoot one guy and then a guy behind him falls over with a shotgun. We waited too long. The devs waited too long, honestly. We have to do another. I feels like we have to take this current patch and redo all the testing because it's been such a time frame for it now. So, yeah, that's just how it feels, man.
To answer it, and I want Jraye to answer it before I do. And you're not stealing the podcast. This is like a total just talk sesh. That's what my podcast is. Like it. This ain't Joe Rogan, baby. All right. Like I don't even want to. Maybe I shouldn't have said his name. I don't want to get charged. God. But Jraye, like I know you focus infantry, man. Like, how do you feel right now as an infantry versus tanks and playing in the game? Because right now, I feel like they made infantry not struggle so much against tanks. God damn, this brings a whole new thing when you ask this question because Bone is in a new thing right now too. Bone's made 10,000 tremolas and we're ready to ship them right now in this new infantry building.
Yeah.
And Jraye, I've seen him on my front. What's going to happen when I have 10,000 tremolas I dump on a fucking hex and 100 crates of Linaires and say, go fucking nuts, boys, and 100 crates of shirts? I don't give a fuck what your tank or your concrete looks like. I will horde tactic you with this new building that's implemented. And Bone's not even a huge regiment. If WLL took on the persona of what Bone is doing right now, and you had 3 buildings and all of your dudes are pumping EMATs into it and all of your dudes are pumping CMATs into it, you guys could outproduce us tenfold, and we have 10,000 fucking tremolas. And I know you're laughing because you know what I'm talking about right now. It's fucking insane. And Jraye, his little grubby ass is going to get up there with fucking 1,000,000 tremolas, and he's going to dumpster everyone. He's going to sit there and absolutely 360 no-scope tremola someone in the fucking forehead. He's going to have unlimited logi. And even for the wardens, I think it's even crazier. Because tremolas aren't anti-tank. You can equip every warden with a cutler and a fucking RPG. Bye-bye concrete. See you later. Bye-bye. We're not even really understanding what this war is because we're not even playing it. We're in last war. Like you said, and this is the thing that I don't understand. Like, it's so fucking insane because people don't even understand how fucking crucial this war was for logistics with that new building. Dude, I'm going so nuts because Bone is about a regiment, about 30 people, active players. We have 10,000 tremolas. Like, Jraye, tell me, what do you guys do in tremola rushes on the front line with Linaires? You go fucking bonkers and break conch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like,
it's beautiful. Not much you can do about it.
And that's the thing. Here's my honest truth about me not being biased. What are the wardens going to do when we have 10,000 unlimited ammo? Their logistics aren't a thing anymore. You literally can I can put 60 crates on the front in a shipping container, right? If they don't burn through those 60 in 2 hours, I can refill 50 crates right back to them with 10 more crates of Laniers or shirts. And I can do that every 2 hours and keep 24 hours of consistent pressure. Same thing with RPGs for them, 2.5 hours. It's coming down to this is, I think the building needs to be nerfed. I don't think logistics is not in a good spot. I don't think naval is in a good spot at all. I don't think it has a true counter. Like, honest to God, I know everyone's like, just do land arty. I've done the diagram before, but if you have concrete, right, and you have your arty here, and it can only defend out to here, and then the ship's out here and can hit this, if you move up to re-engage the ship moves forward and engages your arty, you're done. You don't have an actual consistent ring. It's shorter range, but like it's rings, right? There's no actual way to go touch water, like touch them way out in the water, because if they're just gonna back up, repair, pull right back up to you, smash your arty, and then pound whatever the hell it was pounding. There's no actual anti-ship mechanics right now other than ships. And in my opinion, naval's the worst aspect of the game at the moment. I think it is the most unbalanced and most unlooked at segment in the game. I think it's horrible. I think for both sides, to be honest. I don't think there's good counters to both sides. And I think, honestly, I think some of the ideas just need to be scrapped. Like, in honest to God, I think every Kali player that I can speak for hates the fucking Warden or the Kali submarine. Almost every one of us hates that fucking thing. I would say a majority. I'd put $20 down to say at least 80% hate it. And I would say that with a firm $20 down. Like, it's just, Navy's not fun to play. I'll put it that mechanic. Submarines are too strong right now. If you get torped at all in a big boat, that's 4 hours minimum you're repairing your boat. You're wasting your op on Friday. You're not doing shit. Can air balance Navy? Maybe. But if no one's playing Navy because air's fucking dominating Navy, you're just wiping out one segment of the game. Are they going to add more ships to protect boats from Navy ships? Like, there's a lot of questions you have to ask going into this. How are infantry going to take care of planes? Or are you just going to get the PPSH plane with fucking 600, I don't know how many it was. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there was a plane from the Russians in World War II. They strapped like almost 10 rows of PPSHs by 2x2s. And they only got to shoot for like 10 seconds, but they'd carpet bomb over trenches, and just the fucking PPSHs would unload, dude, and it'd just be a fucking, Matt, or Mape, it's like 4 hours to fully repair your boat if you get torped.
Is it really?
Is it not?
Well, yeah. It depends on I think it depends on the size of the ship, and the amount of damage. It's the amount of damage you've taken and the size of your ship. I think it ticks up from the percentage of health that it's missing.
And
so if a battleship comes in with 3 smokestacks, it's about that much.
Yeah, okay. Chamberlain is the only insane motherfucker I've ever met that likes ours.
Okay, so I have a hot take about naval, and I've been thinking about this for a while because I'm so sick and tired of like everyone saying that, Kali suck at Navy and Wardens rule the waves and blah 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 blah.
Hold on.
I've had a decent thought about the state of our Navy, and I have some hot takes about it.
1 second before you answer that. The point is, mate, it takes about, give or take, maybe 30 minutes to get out of either side. Like if you're Kali going out, it maybe take 45 minutes to get out to open waters. And if you're Warden, it takes about 30 minutes to get out from your lane. Give or take. You just have straighter lanes up north, which, it makes sense. We have a bit curvier bends. Regardless of that point, it takes about 45 minutes to get out. You get torped, you're going to at least spend 45 minutes to get back as a Kali, and then you're going to repair it, which takes, let's even call it an hour, that's at least minimum 3 hours you're going to be repairing your boat. Either way you want to cut it, even if the actual repair time is not 4 hours, it's a 4-hour endeavor of just sailing the boat to repair it or just to go get torqued. Either way you want to cut that cookie, it's a 4-hour thing. I did want to have Jraye answer before you give your hot takes. Do you think the game is ready for Airborne?
It's a great question. Obviously not. I mean, based on its current state, the fact that you're going to every front every day and there's constant lag, I think they need to implement a few more quality of life updates, maybe a couple of balances here and there. Maybe tweak that shotgun damage just a smidgen. Maybe that range, bring it down just a smidgen. But yeah, no, I think we need more updates. Short story short.
Okay, sorry. Hot takes.
Okay, hot takes.
Very hotly.
Yeah, hot takes. Hit it. Jerry, any? For infantry?
No.
Do you have any problems with infantry right now, actually?
No, you go first. I'm still adjusting to not killing 12 people with a bayonet at the same time. That Stanham update was. I would love a little bit more if we could tweak that. Maybe throw a little bit more range back on the grenades, Harpa and Bombastone included. Yeah, that's really all that comes to my mind.
I will say one thing.
I think, yeah.
One thing that's annoying me about infantry right now is I don't know how long wardens have complained about the Bomastone being insanely OP because of its extra range over the Harpa. And now that the Boma's been so nerfed into the dirt, it's 11 meters. Their grenade launcher rifle that they get, I can't think of the name. Osprey, thank you.
Osprey.
The Osprey is dominating early game. And it's really bad when, like, the collies are known to have the early game advantage with Boma Stones and, like, better rifles, quote unquote. But right now, and even for a few wars, I'll feel like everything's starting to get more even except mid-game. I think mid-game still sways heavily for... I wouldn't even... mid to early, or mid-early war. We need that boost from the Boma Stones to combat the hacks. And we need that early Boma Stone because it needs to make up for the Dascus nerf. Dacus nerf a while ago, the reload speed on it, it's not that competitive anymore against hacks and whatnot. Hacks, and then you also got the 30 mil scout tank. Plus 20 mil, the Typhoon getting nerfed also really hurts our AT capabilities early game. With us getting out armored in the early game, plus tankette 30 mil not even coming out when the 40 mil comes out, it's insane. Like, the tankette gets split between two full chassis because the 12-7 tankette takes on the hack and the GAC, and then the 30 mil tankette takes on the scout tank and the 30 mil scout tank. So it's a really weird balance that the tankette's taking on, and it's really weird how we're fighting a hack with 12-7. We have nothing at that point that can really disable hacks unless it's stickies. And even though, be that it may, hacks are not that fucking OP, when you have no other option, they're really strong. We don't have anything at that tech tree. And especially with half tracks coming out earlier than tankettes this war, you've literally thrown out fucking tankettes. Like, they're gone in the fucking wind. Scout tanks still have a play over half tracks, in my opinion. But, like, you've literally thrown out the tankette in this update. And I think it's a very weird dynamic. And this all going into early game. Sorry, I kind of viewed off infantry. What I was talking about was the fucking grenade, and we don't really have bomas anymore, dude, and that really hurts our early game gameplay. Especially now that the kind of wardens I feel like are starting to notice this, you're starting to see wardens log on earlier than tanks. Collie or wardens, it was known for a while that a lot of wardens wouldn't log on until tanks, and I feel like now that they know the Boma is in the dirt, I don't think that's the case anymore, and I don't think Collies have the early game advantage like they say we should. And it's a really weird toss-up that they get a 26-meter double our fucking grenade length with their grenade launcher Harpa, which actually does more damage in a bigger kill radius over our Boma that throws 11 meters and doesn't kill unless it's in a 2-meter or 3-meter radius and only bleeds. It's the dynamic of early game is really switched, and I feel like infantry early game really feel it. I felt it this war. I'm not saying Boma needs to be god tier, but I think that fucking grenade that they get, that grenade launcher, I think that needs to be different. I'll put it like that. I think it's very tough right now as a Collie early game. Sorry, I just wanted to finish off infantry because I feel like me and you've been talking a lot legendary, and J-Ray's like infantryman, so we're like vehicles, logi, and that's like infantryman's like
Not my area.
that's cool. I got stickies,
That's about
bitch.
my
Like,
favorite.
you know, it's I don't know. Lag is a big problem too. I know fucking Trounsey stopped playing the game for like 2 wars because of it. It's really bad. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, man. It's a top. Here's the other thing that I'll finally answer your question you originally gave me. Do I think? Oh, that's another fucking good point. The what is that fucking grenade called? The Varsi is insanely strong against our tripods too. Insanely strong on our tripods. Hold on. I gotta finish this. That was just another take from a viewer. I think the game is not ready for air. I don't think that matters at this point. It is going to happen because they've already released all the shit they have. We are on the fucking trajectory regardless at this point. How ready can they get it, and how can we unfuck it before we get to that point? How much can we make the game better before then is the question I think we need to ask ourselves now. I think we're beyond the point of if it comes. That's going to happen. They're banking on it. A lot of new players are coming. They're getting a lot of big streamers to come in. Pirate Software, Summit 1G, all these big names are coming for Airborne. They've already said it. I've been in their podcasts. Or not podcasts. I've been in their streams. Not summits, but I went to Pirates. It's going to come. How much do we need change to make it ready for it, or at least to a decent start? I don't want a Battlefield 4 start to Airborne, because that's going to be fucked. How much do we need to repair before then?
People.
You know, that's the.
Look, we're gonna hit.
What's up?
We're gonna hit like 10,000 people with
Yeah.
the new update.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be crazy, and all the front lines are gonna be beautiful, and there's gonna be thousands of deaths per every hex every hour. And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's depends on how good it is. We'll see how much that goes down.
We're also going to get an influx this month. The dude who does the Down the Rabbit Hole videos is doing one on Foxhole. It's coming out April. Which is probably
Excited
why
to be done.
Charlie's not down. Yeah. So that's
That's
probably
another
why
take
Charlie's
that,
not down.
I think it's detrimental to have Charlie. Like, I mean, I don't think we have a huge player base at the moment. Like, I'm looking at the front lines. There's nothing. It's not overly active. I feel like this war hasn't been super active, but people seem to love having a secondary server. So, I mean, I don't know if that's going to go anywhere.
I think the devs are aware about the influx of players that are coming in April. So for people who don't know and who's watching Bone's stream, there's a really big YouTube documentary guy who did this massive like documentary on EVE Online, and he's released. I'm following him on Patreon, and he's releasing a massive Foxhole documentary anywhere between now and the next 2 to 3 weeks.
And you're not.
And
subbed
this
my
dude
OnlyFans?
has
What the fuck, dude?
he has like 1.5 million subscribers. His average YouTube video counts like 6 million, 5 to 6 million. So
I
5
feel
to
like
6
we
million
could-
views on Foxhole.
Lord.
I think we're actually gonna. Here's a hot take from me. I think we're gonna get. I think we're gonna get Baker. I'm gonna be honest. I think we're gonna get Baker.
Jeez.
It's like it's not just gonna be Charlie Wall. We're gonna have Baker online.
Well, I mean, we're gonna hit like 10,000 people, and we handled having like 10,000 people enough with 2 servers. So can't imagine we're gonna get much more than that.
I mean, depending, if you just said 1.5 million people, you got to take, if that's even 1% of that comes in,
It's 15K.
brother,
That's absurd.
we gonna need some more servers. We gonna have Zeta, Charlie, Abel, Delta, Echo. You know what I mean? Imagine. I mean, fuck me, dude. If you got, let's hypothetically say we pull 5%, and let's even go even further than that. He got 6 million views on his video. You gotta even say 3% of 5 million or 6 million. And then all of those little small content. I mean, it would be a fucking array of people just word of mouth. Dude, you gotta check out this new Foxhole game, bro. I was taking nades in the trenches, and I was gunning people down. I met this motherfucker named Berg. He was screaming at me on the front line. Jraye toked up a little bit. Bayonet charged 6 dudes. I'm in, man. You gotta buy this game. And then he's never gonna play, but he's gonna get 10 of his friends to play. And then he'll never play again, but all 10 will stay and make their regiment fucking... Dude, it's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna happen. You fucking watch, dude. I think Chamberlain is the #1 believer, and I think he's right. I think Chamberlain's take on it is, it's gonna take that one video or that one fucking mass event, and then Foxhole's gonna fucking explode. It's gonna explode. Because we all know how good the game is. You know, we're in a fucking podcast talking about it on a Friday night. Come on, dude. We love the game. But man, I know what it could be. We know what it could be.
That's why I've literally pumped all my energy into just like teaching people how to play, make app videos, make Steam guides, like because sorry to say this, but the Foxhole in-game tutorials dog shit. So like,
there's a tutorial.
We need more content creators. Yeah.
There's a tutorial.
I
I know.
mean, literally non-existent.
There's not one. It's a fucking placard board that says, "Grab rifle, grab ammo." What ammo? Grab ammo.
Oh, 20 clips of ammo? Excellent. Okay.
Yeah,
They say
the
grab
first,
ammo. I'll
yeah,
grab all the ammo.
the first private that gets in the front line and grabs, all right, dude, I got to get ready for the trenches. Grabs 30 mags of 9mm. The next vet that comes across
our ammo.
Yeah, the next vet that comes over his body. What the fuck is this? Launching Man would be furious. Launching Man would not stand for this.
It gets worse too, because in the tutorial section, all the ammo stuff is in magic boxes. That is the opposite of Foxhole. It is literally the opposite of Foxhole. Like, you go to the tutorials like, oh, I want to try out the RPG. There's a box that's just magically spawning RPGs. Oh, awesome! This is the game. And then when they get on, then they load into the front lines like, wait, we have to fight with pistols and boomer stones. Bro,
guys, where's the magic? Where's the ammo boxes, guys? Why are we not spawning in ammo? What the? Come on, man.
What a crazy thing to overlook. They've had so many updates, and to overlook the tutorial, that's like, I feel like one of the #1 things that could keep a player from. It's like you're just not telling them anything. What are we doing?
I think next update, I'm gonna be real. I think next update has to be a tutorial update, and maybe that will be a reason to maybe not cut the war short. But like I can't imagine Airborne or this like this documentary coming out without the game being ready for players to like hop in and have a legitimate tutorial that features the main gameplay loop of the game. They should make the tutorial like you start in, you gather salvage, you make your BMATs, and then you make a rifle, and then you take your literal like creative rifle and your creative 7.62 to an encampment next to the shooting range, so you can feel the value of what you're loading in, and then you go and practice shooting. Like that to me is like a much better start to like a Foxhole tutorial, and that doesn't touch anything other than reorganizing the home regions. So
But
I'm gonna put money
yeah.
down. I think that there has to be a tutorial update in either the next patch or some patch before Airborne, or Airborne itself has to have a change, because just like you said, I don't want the private guy who has no idea what he's doing to spawn in, grab an Argenti and 14 clips and 3 bandages and 2 bomber stones, and then he walks straight into a dude with a fiddler. It's like,
It's not even his fault. It's like nobody told him otherwise.
it's not
So
his
it's
fault.
like,
Yeah, he is.
right.
They are taught incorrectly in the tutorial how the game works. It's a game where every bullet is made by every single player. The first thing that you do, oh, magic box. Oh yeah, let me just get X amount of stuff.
I
So
hate to be pessimistic. I think we absolutely do need. I 100% agree. I don't think we're going to get it. I really don't. I think they're going to view
yeah,
that as
maybe.
something that's like, it's like, we're working on bigger shit. We got planes and AA guns to worry about and all this other crazy shit that they haven't told us anything about. But it's
Yeah,
fell by the
we're-
wayside for so long, so I don't see why it's not going to continue, unfortunately.
And man, I'm not even. I'm not even touching on the. Oh.
All right, guys. I got some
Oh,
fucking
okay.
heaters coming for you. All right, here we go. I think the next update is gonna be. I think it's gonna be some absolute gas. I think they're gonna open up borders. And I think they're gonna hold on. I think they're gonna make them big hexes, but they're still gonna be regions, right? I think they're gonna bundle up regions, and I think they're gonna do what they do with Anvil Empires. So Anvil right now can take 1,000 players in a map. They're gonna have to make maps that are conflict intuitive. So like if you look at the map right now, the frontline hexes, the midline hexes, you would have to have sections that would 2 Warden, 2 Kali, 2 Warden, 2 Kali, because it's 32, right? You can have 4 player or 4 hexes, if that makes sense, right? And if you take 2 hexes, you make hexes subregions, and you make the big fucking 4 hexes. That's what I think they're either going to change the coding. I think that's what they're doing with Anvil right now. I think Anvil is a test bed for their servers and netcode, and I think they're going to start implementing that stuff they've been testing over there. That's why they're keeping it really hush-hush, but inviting as many people as they want to play it, and they're getting these mass battles. They're having a lot of stuff. They're cutting down wood in there. They're testing all the stuff to make their own netcode,
I don't think you're
a.k.a. doing what EVE Online did. EVE Online had to rent servers for a long time, and then they made their own netcode, and then they have their own servers now that can run their netcode. I'm not a big tech fancy guy, but that's what I've been told about EVE Online, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do at Foxhole. I think my conspiracy theory and why I put this funny-ass do-rag on, I think the reason they cut Last War short is I think the next 2 updates, if you look at what the updates entail, one is a server and maintenance update. That's the last one before the big doozy. And then we're getting all the balancing bullshit, all the whining bullshit, all that shit that we've been crying about forever. This is their chance next war to balance it all. And then once it's good and balanced and in a state that they like, then they fuck us up with a new server. And they give us new servers to play with and new netcoding. And then once that's good, the nuclear fucking war, the airborne update. It's gonna be fucking nuts. Oh my god, I'm sweating my ass off in this thing. Jesus Christ. Woo! It's hot, dude. Shit's hot. All right.
To be
Super
fair,
right
you were
thing,
like
though.
wearing 3 different headgear at the
Dude.
same time. It was like a headphones and the cap and
Bro, so I had the little
Smart.
the koi lift set, and then I had the crown go
4.
on top. The little, it's the best I could do in like 3 minutes, dude. I had to fucking sprint off to my kitchen, and I fucking just started laying shit down, and I looked in the mirror. All right, that shit's goofy enough. Get to the podcast, and then I got a laugh out of it, so it worked.
That's great. I
Definitely
love it.
appreciate it.
What do you think, Jraye? Are we getting maintenance update?
Yeah, probably. I think a lot of what you said about Anvil is correct. I mean, we got was it Melee implemented? They were doing that in Anvil, so
Yep.
we magically got that, and I think in this update, allegedly, we got better player movement. Not that we can notice it with all the lag, but I think that was
was a
another
good
thing
thought.
taken probably from Anvil. Yeah, eventually maybe we'll get to see it. It's supposed to be great for content creators. I heard them say. It's great lag. People love to see it. Anyway, but yeah, no, we're just gonna slowly get more shit from Anvil. Because surely we've all heard it with the plane updates. Like, oh yeah, so what happens if you're trying to get into a hex and it's overpopulated? Is the plane just going to be like hanging there on the edge of the border? It's like, oh cool, what are we doing?
Well, and then the
This is
fuel.
crazy. So yeah,
The fuel is the other thing you gotta ask there. These things can't have unlimited fuel. You know, if you're just sitting there on a hex in a 20-man queue, like, you're gonna go fucking land at the airstrip? Like, no. So I don't know. I think.
So
I don't know. Go ahead.
I had a thought. I had a thought about air.
Oh my god, guys, hold on. We're fucking nuts, by the way. I just want to let you know how this conversation has gone from do you think air's good to what air's gonna be, naval, infantry, air. Dude, this podcast is going fucking bananas, baby. I'm just saying, I love it. I wanted to get your hot takes, dude. That's what I wanted to know, but I want to hear this too.
Don't worry, I have plenty of hot takes. I have plenty of hot takes. So in terms of there's one problem with the whole like world map continuous like no region thing. A lot of weapons are balanced around the border. A lot. Can't fire SPGs over a border. Can't shoot in Tempest over a border. Can't fire a nuke over a border. Can't shoot a nuke using a Tempest cannon across a border, usually, unless the nuke is built in a weird spot like Foxcatcher. Anyway, the thing is like I know that they're probably gonna do a balance pass. They probably have to like tweak a couple things, maybe increase that Boma Stone range back to 2 meters or something to undo some of the changes. But you have to understand that the border mechanic itself, like the borders with the border bases and zoos and all that other stuff that all the vets are accustomed to, there's a lot of balance decisions that are made around that. And I think Airborne is going to add to the game, not change the game. It's going to add more stuff. It's like, yes, we're going to have aircraft and stuff, but we're not going to be changing the balance of. I don't think the devs are going to change the balance of the Tempest or the SPG or or like any of the tanks. If anything, we're going to add things in, and we're going to add counterplay because they did that for naval. Nothing really on the ground was changed for naval at all. We just had new things added. Like we didn't get like you were saying it earlier, right? There's no way for ground forces to really attack ships. The devs never added a anti-ship tank. They never added in an anti-ship infantry uniform like scuba gear that you can go like cut up holes in a battleship while it's bombarding. They never added any. They never changed the core gameplay loop for infantry and tanks. I don't think that's going to change either for Airborne. The only thing that might change is some of the existing weapons will now be able to point up. I think, like for example, the EMGs. I think the EMGs are going to point up because they're in the EMG descriptions. They are
Raptor
decommissioned anti-aircraft guns. Yeah. Oh, the Raptor. Oh yeah, just blast them with an 88 flak.
Bro,
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
maybe.
if we don't get an APHE that can absolutely, or not, if we don't get a fuse round that can absolutely blast a fucking Warden plane out of the sky, I'm going to complain until it gets added. I'm going to go to every dev stream. Yeah. I'm going to every dev blog. I'm going to email them. I'm going to fucking... I don't want to go too far, but I'm gonna fucking complain. All right, I want a flak 88 and I want a LARP. God damn it.
True. Good LARP though. That's a decent LARP. I'll make your flak 88. Just swing past my War Factory in Airborne update. I'm bringing
I'll
it
sit
back.
there and protect there,
But-
dude. I'll just fucking eye in the sky, waiting for him. Come on! Ah! Just go nuts, dude.
Yeah, but like I said, as much as we all hate border mechanics and border bases and border hotels and all that crap, I just to dial in the realism a little bit here, I don't think that devs will have enough time to balance the weapons around a continuous game world.
That's why I think
they would have to rethink. They would have to rethink Tempests, SPGs, like even like crossing a border and like rockets, dude. Like you remember how crazy rockets were when they didn't add the like fire restriction when you cross a border? Like, oh my god, I remember Skycallers crossing a border, locking in, firing from the RDZ, and then hitting E after all their rockets were launched. Dude, those ops were insane, and they sucked to fight against. And they balanced the Skycaller around the fact that you can't cross a border and shoot. You can't do it anymore. So for them to like roll back, like, oh, we're gonna take away the border mechanics and the border balance, that's a lot of weapons that'll have to be retweaked. And it might not be stuff that we enjoy. Like, I'm scared of Skycallers being able to just roll in, shoot, and then retreat before we can like QRF them. Yeah. Intel's gonna have to be reworked. Intel's centers are gonna have to be reworked. I don't know. I'm a little bit scared of we just remove the borders. It's just gonna be one continuous game. I think we might have that for the air update. So I think aircraft are just gonna. I think aircraft will fly up the game map, and they will have like a cloud region or a stratosphere layer that they'll be able to fly in, and you have your crazy dogfights.
I talked about that last week, actually. So with naval, they actually take into account the players on the ground and stuff, and they have their own naval queue, but they still take into account that stuff. I think they're going to literally, like, I shit you not, add like a Minecraft fucking layer, like this is XY coordinate Z and this is XY coordinate Z, and the planes are going to have their own. So ground layer, naval, air, different server that talks to each other. So the way like strafe runs or bombing runs are going to work, I don't know if you guys have ever looked in game, but there's like Alpha 2 would be in. That would be like the far left of the map. That'd be like Ore Breaker, Alpha 2, and then you do keypad 6, and you would find that coordinate, find that box, and then keypad 2. You would have to fly to keypad 3, start diving, and then at keypad 2 release, and then keypad 1 you're out. Or it would be actually 9, 6, 3 if you're actually going to talk about it like in that angle, but you do however you wanted to do it. If you want to do like keypad 3 from a diagonal, you would go fucking. Oh fuck me. I want to know how they do it.
So to add it in, right? We used to have a game mechanic where we called in rockets with radio backpacks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that shit's coming back. I think J-Ray is gonna sit in the front and he's gonna be like,
radio operator.
I need a danger close strike. Yeah, I need a danger close strike on this border base or bunker base. And he's gonna open the region for bombers to come in and bomb shit.
Well, J-Ray's gonna be calm. You got to think about people like me that are gonna LARP. J-Ray's gonna be like, "Hey guys, I need you guys to come bomb the fuck out of these wardens that are straight in front of me. We're getting overran. All right, yeah, they're in Alpha 2, keypad 3. All right, sweet." And then you're going to have me, "I need danger! Close! Broken arrow! Drop it on me!" Like, screaming into the mic, freaking out. And then there's just going to be, dude, hey, just drop it right on me. No freaking out. Just nuke me. It's all good, bro. Just drop that 500 right on my forehead. You're killing me. But hey, man, you'll kill 10 of them. It's cool. I can just see it. J-Ray, you're just not, like, too excitable, bro. I want to see you get fucking juiced, baby. I want that radio operator. You know what I mean? I'm going to be flying the bomber. I want you to call in, go crazy.
Absolutely.
In it, dude. Oh, it'd be so cool, dude. The LARP would go nuts.
Maybe I'll do some flying myself.
Dude, that'd be
I've been
sick.
doing a little bit of flight sim. Put that shit to work.
Oh. Got a little flight sim. I'm a War Thunder connoisseur myself. P-51 Cass is the best. You know what I mean?
Did you see the April Fool's joke they did?
Dude, World War One. Fuck yeah, dude, that's sick, dude. You can get those tanks too.
I thought it was. They said they were adding infantry. That was the word.
They did.
April
They
Fool's
did.
joke that I saw.
They did a World War One like
is that-
war style, and there's infantry in the trenches too, that can kill you. Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of that, voila! You have brought the fucking thing I've wanted into the game for so long. You know in not World War One, Battlefield 5, I think it is, or Battlefield 1. You know Battlefield 1, the big old fat HE grenade that you get is the first AT grenade you get?
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Fucking.
It's like a mammon on steroids.
It's like 10 bomas put together, dude. It's a World War One massive HE nade. Hold on. What the hell's it called? I'd maybe not want to put HE grenade anti-tank. Wunderbar. Sweet. Hold on. Copy image. I'm going to put it in the chat here on the side. That grenade right there. The collies need that, bro.
Yeah.
Because the Wardens have the flask. I want like make it dog shit, whatever, but I want that LARP in there, dude. I want to have that HE grenade in the trench and just fucking have it do AT only, whatever. I don't know. I want one so bad, though.
I still think that before air we're gonna get some. I think partisans are gonna get some more toys. So that weapon that you posted there, that looks like a partisan toy, bro.
Or they can
Not
give me
just
one of
frontline.
those. Do you know what those are,
The
boys?
stick thing,
Yeah.
A lunge mine,
The
bro.
barbed wire.
Give me a lunge mine.
bro. You got Ignifist, man. You're fine.
Bro, no, give me a dude. Banzai! And just fucking haul ass with a lunge mine, dude, and then just watch that dude run into the side, track it, and watch that collie blow up, dude. Oh, it'd be
Dude,
sweet.
Grenadier uniform. Grenadier uniform, 8 stickies, and a dream. That's all you need.
Bro, if you're telling me right now, if you saw me hauling ass, you're sitting in the trench with your shotgun, right? And you see me screaming at the top of my lungs at the side of a warden thing, Banzai! What-da-da-da! And I fucking lunge mine him, and you see them shit their pants as they get tracked, you wouldn't do exactly what you just did right there and laugh your ass off? At me, bro. At me. I need that content, baby. All right? It would be hilarious. I love it, dude.
I've seen this lunge mine picture like a billion times. I feel like you might have enough movement to inspire the dead to do something about it.
Dude, we already have to suicide rush pretty much with the fucking stickies. What's 2 more meters and actually having something cool we could all laugh at, bro? It'd be awesome. Oh, come on.
But my shiny brand new brigand, the tier 3 brigand, bro. I don't want to die to like three guys with a lunge mine.
Bro, I need get a truck full of dudes. No, you know what? Make it a large item. Make it a large item that we can throw on a fucking pallet. You know what I mean? Like the Bangalores, the Hydra's Whisper. Make it a large item that you have to sprint with and melee attack to get and you could throw it into infantry too. Banzai! We go inside of a bunker base and just poke an infantry and boom! It'd be so sweet, dude. It'd be so cool. Devs, if you ever watch my podcast, you know what to add. Put a little bear image on the front of the fucking lunge mine too, so I know you heard me. That'd be sick. Just saying. That's my 1-1 I've always asked for. I've asked for those 2 things since my first episode. What the fuck? Keezer just put... Oh my god, dude. If you guys look in the chat right now, what they put in there, fucking Keezer put in the fucking crossbow that we can shoot bomas out of, bro.
I mean, the Wardens already have that. That's the Osprey. It's just medieval Osprey. This is
Dude.
Anvil Empire posting.
Dude, yeah.
Is Anvil Empire posting.
Dude, add that to anvil, bro. A little harpunade on the... Bro, that'd be nuts. See, that'd be me, Pink. Milk, that would be me, dude. Right there, bro. 100% I'm lunge mining some tanks. Oh, it'd be so fun. Can you imagine killing a super heavy with lunge mines, dude? Fuck.
I mean, I killed a super. I was part of the Mammon Rush against the super heavy in Viper Pit like a couple wars ago.
You killed a super heavy with Mammons? Well, actually, Mammons don't do that bad.
Dude, you don't know the story? Wait, you don't know the story?
No.
It was insane. Like some random regiment, some like new warden guys who just started. I wouldn't say they just started, but they were probably playing for like a war. They went onto Reddit, the best place on the internet. Okay.
Yes.
And they made a Reddit thread saying, "Dear colleagues, dear colleagues, we're coming for you." And they posted a screenshot of like 4 or 5 BTs, like fully loaded on a train and like a predator. And they were like, "Dear colleagues, we're coming for you. This is where we're gonna attack you from. You know, we're coming to Viper's Pit or whatever." And they literally crossed a border as the victory point in the hex popped. So the border bases started were contestable.
Oh,
they
shit.
drove their BTs past the border base husk without anyone jumping out and pressing E. One random collie Chad crossed the border and captured the border base on the other side. And everyone, all the vets, saw 4 BTs in a line driving past a green border base. Like, it was nothing. We all went to home region and we spawned on that border base. There was no queue. And we all grabbed the stickies to cross over and sticky bomb the 4 BTs. These guys were taunting us the entire time. We crossed the border and we bombed all their tanks to death. Then, out of nowhere, a predator drives past the border base. We don't have stickies anymore, except maybe there was like one dude with a sticky. We just grabbed the free mammons out of the border base and we literally mammon rushed the predator that literally drove past us, and it tried to back up and it ran into friendly dragon teeth. It couldn't get past the dragon teeth. And then as it was like squeezing past it, it blocked all the MGs that were protecting it. So we just mammon rushed it to death. The damage on YouTube made a video about it, and the guys who made the like, "We're coming to get you, collies," like BT like humble brag post before their op started, they just completely deleted everything. They deleted their Reddit accounts, they deleted their Discord accounts. They were gone. They were like, "No, can't."
You know what, dude? You're a piece of shit.
Crazy.
You made 30 people leave the game, bro. You're a piece of shit. You literally made 30 accounts leave the fucking game outright, bro. They aren't even coming back to play. That shit went in the uninstall, went into the fucking recycling bin, deleted from the recycling bin, deleted from the permafile. It's gone. Those dudes are never coming back because of your tomfoolery.
You know whose fault it was?
Talk shit, get hit.
The developers. Because there's no border based claim tutorial in the home region.
Hey, you know. To be fair though, I gotta be honest. It would be hard.
The guys in the beaches didn't claim it, but yeah.
It would be hard to do a full tutorial. I learn stuff every day. Like, you're not gonna get everything, but the basics you need to learn. Like, I think like you should have a gunnery sergeant, or like if you're the wardens, have like a kind of French concierge kind of leader kind of guy, and they talk you through it and be like, you know, if you're on the college, the sergeant, all right, get your CV over there and tap that bunker. It needs 6 pieces on it. You can dig those pieces up with a shovel. Grab your shovel, then tap out the bunker. All right, well, your bunker's gonna need logi. Go over to the fucking factory. You know, and go over to the refinery, grab B-mats, then you have, you know, B-mats to make a rifle, magazines. And then you have them go back, dump the logi in. Then the gunnery sergeant would get him into private from commending him. Gunnery sergeant would be your first 3 commends. Get into private. Then you go in and all right, now you're going to grab 1 rifle and 2 mags and a Boma stone. I went ahead and put that crate in myself. Then you're going to go in and then you're going to have like fucking potato sacks and you got to hit 2 of them with a rifle, throw 1 with a Boma stone. You teach them grenades, you learn basic logi, you learn basic construction of buildings. Then they're going to have a tank pull up and they're going to be like, all right, well, you're going to have to learn how to flank a tank. Grab a sticky it twice, and then send their ass to the front line. They know those basic things, everything else will come along as it needs to be. Like, naturally, if they just learn how to kill tanks, kill infantry, grab shit, make shit, you're good. If they do those things alone, everything else can be taught by a veteran. I don't mind teaching them all the advanced shit. I really fucking hate that I have to teach someone how to pull a rifle and pull a fucking grenade and like how to kill a tank. Like, that's super basic, and I don't mind teaching them. It's not their fault and I don't mind doing it, but I'm saying it's annoying that we have to be the teachers. Even though it's only 1 to 10 seconds that you're explaining this, that's 1 to 10 more seconds they're taking away in each new player's time, which that's very small and minute, but everything, this game is very time sensitive, as you know. It's you might have a moment to kill a tank in one, and that fucking thing is gone in the next, and you'll never get that chance again. It's really weird how you can change a front in seconds if you know what the fuck you're doing. Henceforth, you're talking about those BT plays. A dumbass private is not gonna know what you guys did or even how that happened unless you explained it to them and explained how to make that play. It's a time sensitive thing, and you completely collapsed. I mean, you said 4 BTs in a super heavy. That's 48 hours plus 4 BTs. That's 18 hours apiece. You killed in less than 20 minutes because you knew how to make that play. Henceforth, if they went and taught players how to kill tanks with stickies in the tutorial, they automatically are on the same level as long as they know how to spawn in at that border base and all the veterans show them the path. And they get better with pathing as time goes on. And timing. All that small shit I just said, if they just did that small tutorial glimpse when you booted up the game for the first time, you increase your player-based knowledge tenfold. The game becomes that much more competitive across the board. That's just a flat across the board. It wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah. On top of everything you just said, the one tutorial I would add is the power of the range. Most players don't. You can solve so many like grievances and like player problems where it's like, oh my god, is that an alt? By just teaching players how a range works. A lot of players, biggest noob mistake that I see that players do is they don't know the strength of that, what the wrench can do to the majority of gameplay. And that's like my super hot take. Like, I would love to see a proper wrench. If there's any like other YouTube content creators watching this, please make a tutorial on how the damn wrench works. Frick, I know you're watching, Frick. Make a wrench tutorial. Because literally, if you teach people how a wrench works, you will not have tanks littered around the battlefield. You're not going to see like tanks just like lying around and they can get wrenched and someone jumps in and kills like a bunker base or a town base or something like that. You will get people who won't just rely on like mines to defend things. You won't get people spamming like barbed wire everywhere to like defend a choke or anything like that.
Instructions unclear. Throws mine at wrench. Or throw wrench at mine.
It's just. But again, the first time you interact with a wrench is where it's like you randomly bump into it when you're making something at a factory, because it doesn't really show up anywhere else. It's not explained. The mechanic isn't explained. A lot of people still don't understand that when you jump out your tank and someone shoots you, someone can just run up with one item and you lose your entire tank. It's more the wrench is more powerful than stickies or any other weapon in the game. But again, not explained anywhere.
Fisticuffs are the best thing in the game. Don't at me. Fisticuffs are the best.
It's vet knowledge that needs to, I guess, again, I'm saying the same thing over and over, but man, the tutorial. I really hope the next patch is tutorial.
You know,
Tutorial
and the
update.
thing is,
Like literally the thing that you said, like all the stages. Do you learn all the shit with the like drill sergeant yelling in your ear, bro? Dude, you need to voice act that stuff. You need to
well, and the
submit your
thing
job
is,
application siege cap.
I
You have to.
think
We need it, man. We need it.
I think it would be really easy to, because you could do multiple sets, right? So let's say like that's the basic tutorial. You have to do that to get into Spawn Island. You cannot overpass that. You have to do what I just said to get in. And then if you go into the training area, it pulls up a little loading screen, or not a loading screen, like a little spawn area, and then it says tutorial on wrenches, tutorial on Hydra's Whispers, tutorial on tanking, tutorial on repairs, tutorial on bunker building, tutorial on defenses. And then when you go through, the Sarge could be like, each, for the bunkers, each piece adds certain health to building, and you have to have a space in between each building to add a garrison module. And to have a garrison module, you have to have a bunker with the correct tech on it. To get that tech, you have to put modules in each piece. You have to read what the module says. Certain modules give your guns and defensive posture way better rating, or, you could you could have someone type out something more smart than what I'm fucking saying here off the top of my head. But essentially, I guarantee you, there are 90 fucking percent of people that do not know how to build 1, 2, don't know how to build advanced, and 3, don't even understand how to get building started with the modifications, and don't understand that certain modifications actually have ramifications on your building. I bet you the people don't know the latrine adds to your fucking rate of fire on your AT. I guarantee, I think it's the latrine or the kitchen I know does. I think the latrine does.
Washroom.
News to me.
Is it washroom? I knew it's that little bar or whatever.
Latrine is soldier supplies. When you die,
right.
Percentage
But I'm not gonna. If I look at it, I know I'd see it though.
Close enough.
Whatever. All right.
Front line. You're spared. You're spared. It's fine.
Hey, I got 50% right. I knew the kitchen did it. All right. I know the kitchen does it.
Yeah, you got it.
I got 50% on my test. All right. Chad.
Silver star. Good job.
Thank you. No, but seriously though, people don't even know that that's even a thing to make your AT garrisons fire faster. People don't know how to connect pieces, and God forbid if they ever fix multi-placing fucking concrete. Maybe. I would hope they don't fucking put that in the tutorial.
Okay, hot take moment. In the not this update, the previous update, the devs actually said that they kind of like the multiplayer stuff. They just hate the mechanic to get there. So like the AT garrisons that are like lined up like that, they were like, it's cool, we like it. We just hate the mechanic where people have to like use lag switches or whatever to do it.
Yeah.
So I think that they reverted the proposed bunker update stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised if it maybe a year after Air or something, they might come back and
it's going to evolve.
It's
going to evolve to do kind of the same thing with different implementations and probably a different engine by then, I imagine. But Boundless, to take your point on, yeah. I think you're right. It is important for the people to socialize with each other, but there are certain things I feel like every player should know and don't need to be explained to by players. Like I really think it's important every player before they get in the game should know how to pull a rifle and 2 magazines and explain why you shouldn't pull 20. I think that is critically important, and I don't think people should have to make the mistake 20 times before they actually learn how bad they were fucking up. Is it funny? Yes. Does it actually hurt logistics? Yes. I think there's a certain baseline every player needs to hit before they get in the server. Like I said, I think if you want to go learn how to do wrenching, or you want to learn how to use a Hydra Rush effectively, or if you want to learn all the advanced shit, there should be tutorials in the game that explain these things and the mechanics in which they are used, and these should be mentored by the devs and veteran players. It should be optional though. If someone just wants to get past basic Thank you, Grumlow, for the raid. If someone wants to get past the basic introduction, they have to get past that first. Yeah, the simple thing can be told to them in 2 minutes, but there's also shitty veterans, right? And there's also people that don't have mics. And, you know, let's be honest, the
language barriers.
Language barriers, not even just that, but let's be 100% honest. What about the dude that's pulling really expensive shit, leaving it on the ground and not understanding how much work it took to put that shit up there? Henceforth, it makes me so mad when I see someone drop a Bane on the ground after shooting one rocket. I get really mad with new players. I think they should understand before they get in. Thank you, Gremlo. I appreciate your support. What we're talking about, and thank you for the raid again. I hope your stream was good. We're talking about a baseline tutorial that every player should have to pass. I think that's a requirement that you should have to get in the game, and I think everything past that can be either taught by the player base that's more advanced or a regiment, or they can go into a tutorial if they're wanting to be a solo Andy. But I agree to a point, and I hear what you're saying, Boundless, that that is one of the beauties of the game is it's an MMO, and it's supposed to be player interaction. You also take into account people that know the game don't care for the cost. Yeah, but at the same time, if you could convert that to, you know, you're talking about now 70 or at least 2/3 of the player base, one's doing it to be negligent, one's doing it because they're ignorant. Now if you make it just the negligent, now you're at least reducing your cost by, this is a big number, but 33%. You know, you're changing that outcome just by teaching players the a lot of game require you to go through tutorial for it. Yeah. And I mean, Jraye, wouldn't you feel better knowing that your guys aren't complete fucking donuts beside you? You know, that like understand that they shouldn't have 10 magazines and how to equip their bayonet, how to get a rifle, how to supply a front line. If, you know, one of the biggest pet peeves Bone has is when someone sits there and they're like, where's all of our rifle ammo? Why isn't people doing Logi? You are typing, motherfucker. You could be doing WASD and getting your ass to that fucking storage depot to pull ammo and guns instead of whining in region, you know? That's harsh, but
tutorial.
That's a pet peeve of mine, is when people complain that there's not being any Logi brought in. When you look at their stat card and see 0 supplied gathered, 0 supplied delivered. Listen here, Vato. Get your ass to the back line and you get some shit to the front before you get the right to complain. I'm just saying. It annoys me. Just saying.
A little bit of tutorial goes a long way. Did you ever play RuneScape?
No, dude. I was too poor. I had an Xbox. I was too poor for all that shit. I wish I did, though. I missed out on a lot, I've heard.
So the reason I bring it up, it had a good tutorial. It took you through the basics. It was a little tutorial island. It just, before it booted you, you had to complete that before it booted you out into the world. So you had like a little bit of a groundwork for what was going on.
I mean,
as a foxhole guy, like,
I'm not asking for them to go through all the advanced shit. Like, honestly, like Legendary, I love your idea on the wrench and how good that is, but I feel like a veteran should tell you that. Or there should be a slot in game for you to go actively want to go learn that. But I feel like the basics should be a mandatory. Like, at least what scrap basic materials, how to get them, make them, and how to make your own stuff to be self-sufficient. After that, whatever. You know, like, if you can learn how to make your own shit, build your own core, all that stuff, just out flat right, you're good. You know?
Yeah. I still hold that they could restructure the tutorial instead of like giving you a magic box and a rifle to run straight into the shooting range. I think a better idea would be like, hey, before you do anything, pick up that sledgehammer, get some salvage, make some beam. You know, at the shooting range or the basic boot camp tutorial should start after the player submits their own crate of Argentis, their own crate of 7.62, pull a couple of clips, run into that trench. that will ingrain the true essence of Foxhole. It's yeah, you could win a fight with a gun, but I can bring a truckload of guns and a truckload of ammo and beat the living hell out of you just on the logistical part of the game itself. And that's the to me that's the main crux of Foxhole. It's whoever has the better logi, well supplied soldiers will win the fight. Like we were talking about just now, who's gonna win? Like 10 wardens with pistols or Jraye in the correct uniform with an Argenti and a bayonet and 2 patches ago. Who's gonna win? It's gonna be Jraye because I'm gonna make sure he has the equipment he needs to win. And you don't get that with load into a tutorial magic boxes. Oh, infinite stuff.
Well, and the thing is, they don't even really incentivize you to go to the tutorial area. I know players in my regiment that hit over sergeant that didn't know that shit was even there.
That doesn't surprise me.
Well, I'm not a big fan of forcing tutorials on people, but
Thanks, Godly.
It's one of those things where it's like they could gamify the tutorial a little bit. Where it's just like go straight from like no rank to like I don't know, Lance Corporal by finishing all the tutorials with all those sections that you spoke of earlier. Gamify it a little bit. Not a way to farm commence. It's just go from no rank to Lance Corporal.
Well, and that incentivizes like players to go learn it. 1, 2, that gives the game better. Like, it essentially gives each player base, Collie and Warden, a fucking boot camp for basics that we don't have to teach those guys. I love teaching people how to do the advanced shit.
Yeah.
I love teaching them the advanced stuff. I love being like, you want to see some cool shit? Watch this. And like they're like, whoa, like how to pull underground trenches or doing like really crazy builds or, I mean, God forbid, doing a partisan run that is insane, that is so meticulous. That type of stuff, like really high-end, like Logi too, like how to do BTs, teaching that full plat. That's the shit we want to teach them. And it's not even that we don't want to teach them. Yeah. It's not even that we don't want to teach them the basics. It's we're having to teach literally the entire player base that ever touches this game. How many people have quit because they just don't understand it? Like let's really think about that. That's a number right there alone. Think about how many people didn't like their teacher who was just being a dick that day. If the game just made it a super like dope ass cool, like you guys get. I think you guys are envisioning what I'm talking about. That sergeant, they could do a really cool like video. You're getting up off the fucking like.
Yeah.
They could even do like the intro to the fucking game this way and kind of teach them the lore. The collies come up off the little boats from the Navy, because we're invading Navy force or whatever. And you come up off the boats and the rampart drops and the sergeant's like, all right, we got to get your ass in gear. Move up here and all, and he starts running you through everything. And if you're the warden, you're getting dropped off on a truck and the sergeant's, all right, the dipshit, to get off the, I don't know how to talk fucking. I could do the Sarge, but I can't do the other one, but fuck me, you know what I mean? All right, dipshit, let's go to the fucking front, and start rolling them into the LARP of the game, A, which would be fucking sick, but B, also teach them the game in the way the dev's vision is. Teach them how to get a rifle. Teach them how to do logi. Teach them all this stuff. And if they want to advance further and get, the sergeant be like, oh, would you like to go on the fast promotion track? And then you go through a full new set that's more advanced. Wrenches, hydras, havocs, XYZ. You could go as far as you want. And then if you go through every tutorial, like you said, you could hit Lance Corporal before your boot touches Spawn Island. Boom! Then your gameplay starts. Foxhole is now at your fingertips. Like, that shit, our envisionment, is probably not that hard for the devs to implement. I know they have a lot on their plate with Airborne. But let's be honest, for the health of their game that we all love, I think this is a crucial point that needs to be addressed, and I think it's long overdue.
Just out of curiosity, why do you think the war on Charlie died like 2 wars ago? Have you given it some thought? It bothered me a lot. I even made a video about it.
All
Just
right,
out of
I'm
curiosity.
gonna
What
keep
happened?
you a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
What was that? Sorry, what does that mean?
Oh fuck, hold on. I was a bad host. Yo, shout out to my boy Gremblo. If you're not following him, go give him a follow. He was on my podcast 2 weeks ago. Absolute fucking legend. Love that guy. Sorry. Thanks for I think Boundless probably gave that shout out to him. Thank you again for that raid. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I do not keep up with Charlie, and my opinion on Charlie
Okay.
differs from a lot of people. Because they don't have a tutorial in the game, I like Charlie to be the fucking new player, and I fucking hate that big regiments go there and seal club new guys, and I think it's a shit breeding ground for that instance. I don't think
Yeah.
these guys are just getting bullied intentionally. They just don't know all the meta strats these sweaty fucking nerds can't pull off on Abel, and they go pull it off on the new guys that don't know what they're doing. I don't think
Yeah.
Charlie's just for dipshits, but I do think that's very scummy, and I know that a lot of fucking regiments do it. And if you're hearing me say that about you and you're offended, you're the fucking problem. You are killing the player base,
So,
whether you like it or not.
yep. So you're 100% correct. The reason why the Charlie War died like 2 years ago, 2 years ago, where it was like literally like breaking all the records for the longest war ever,
Hold
is
up.
because a whole bunch of vets went into Charlie and built insane concrete bases. Insane.
Yeah, see, fuck
Like
those guys. Like
like
honestly,
six layers of meta bunkers with
fucking
Howie traps in
nerds.
between it,
Nerds.
and it was lined with
They
QRF
can't do
artillery
that on
everywhere.
Able. They can't do it on Able, so they have to do it on Charlie.
They, they,
Fucking hate that,
they couldn't
dude.
do it on Able, but the problem is like as much as I love the Charlie players,
Nerds.
and I know everyone has differing opinions about Charlie's. I love Charlie players. Charlie's a cool players are cool, man.
I
They're
think so,
friggin'
too.
it's like unknown territory. They don't know what the game is and they're trying to figure it out. And eventually they'll be like, hey, you know what? 20 ballistas in the line are kind of cool. It takes them like a month to figure it out, but respect. They figure it out. The problem is a lot of players go on Charlie. They see those like seal clubbing Fortress 9000, right? In the middle of Weathered Expanse or wherever it is. And they will try everything that they can. They'll like spend a week. I'm going to make 10 ballistas. I'm going to get my crew together. They're going to line all that stuff up. And then they're going to go and like, okay, now we do the op to beat the concrete base. And then they line up their ballistas and then they roll over mines and then the 80 garrisons delete them. You know what they do? They just go, well, it took me an hour. Sorry, an hour. It took me like a week to build this stuff. And I can't beat concrete. Uninstall. Bad review. Close the game. Steam refund. It's over. And that's the scary part that I kind of feel with like these like new player friendly servers. I think at some point the devs need to do something to prevent seal clubbing. It's just it is worse than the tutorial. I'm honestly gonna Charlie is worse for the health of the game because like new players will bump into vets and the vets are merciless and there's mechanically nothing that they can do in the game. They just lack the coordination to like beat vet bases. So that's my hot take, at least when it comes to Charlie and stuff like that. And
Don't get me
the main
wrong.
reason why I died is literally because concrete was too OP.
I
Still
do
is.
not fucking hate a place for new players or non-sweaty people to go play. That's not what I hate on, and I don't hate that you're not the fucking best player in the game. I'm fucking not. That's for damn sure, But I like it. Honestly, it grinds my fucking gears. Exactly what you just said. They're literally hurting the player base. That's, let's be honest, dwindling from what it has been prior. Right? It's not dead. The game's not dead. But the average player count is not as high per se as when it was like probably 5 wars ago, right? Especially after Naval came out, those numbers are not here anymore. How many of those new players did we lose forever? Let's be honest, and to be honest, to to get into an even hotter take right now, and I talked about this with you the other day, Legendary. Let's even talk about Abel. What makes people want to play a video game? It's fun and engaging.
Player satisfaction. You want to feel cool. Even though Foxhole, when you boot up the game, it says you are not the hero, you're just a cog in the machine. You still want to feel impactful when you do stuff. And when the devs draw away from that, like nerf your favorite tactic, nerf your favorite weapon, time and time again, you're going to get people who are jaded. We have guys in WL, die-hard Logi players, who are like, I don't want to play this game anymore because I think artillery is too strong, and the devs have not done anything at all. We have guys who like they'll spend 80% of the time doing Logi just for that like 20% time, like, you know what, I just want to go and jump in a tank and have some fun, and then they run into like 6-7 RD guns go off, and the devs don't do anything about it. And yeah, we talked about this, but player satisfaction is the most important part for Foxhole, and new player satisfaction is at an all-time low because players are confused. They don't know what to do.
I'm going to time out. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I think players, not Warden, Collie, not new player, not vet, I think player happiness and engagement is at an all-time low. I think right now it is a very scummy rat race to get to fucking 300s first. I think it's a very scummy rat race and meta builds. And to be honest, I think with asymmetrical gaming, there's some gaps on both sides that really make other players mad. I think there are, and I am unbiased. I say that as I've only played Kali, so take that how you will. I personally think right now, the way the wars have been going and ever since War 100, I personally think the majority why Wardens are winning more is they have a higher pop rate, and I think that's because their equipment is more engaging and more fun to play. That is a personal opinion, and that's not across the board, and that's not to say Collies don't have fun gear and don't have competitive gear. In my opinion and in my observation on regiments leaving, die-hard regiments leaving from Warden to Collie, and a lot of players, and you can't deny numbers, a lot more players are playing Warden than Collie. I think they have a stigma or a shtick about them that they are the dominant faction. I think every Collie jokingly says that, and I think every Warden believes that. I think right now, and this, again, I said this for both sides, I think there's a lot of shit that's OP with the Collies. But my point is, I think player happiness and player retention are getting very low, and I think both sides, one I think is worse than the other, but I think both sides are hurting on the fun basis right now. I don't think the players are, I don't think everyone is as happy as they were earlier wars, pre-100, in my opinion. I think the game used to feel a lot different because shit used to be crazy different. And I think now, with all the nerfs and all the people talking about balance this, balance that, dev intervention, I think with the accumulation and people getting too deep into stats, which I fall flat on my face. I look too deep into stats, Foxhole stats all the time. I could fucking tell you the win percentage of the Collies and Wardens from War 100 right now. But I think this is the real hassle of the game. I think the grind is too hard for everything. And I think not everything's too hard, but I think a lot of the toys are really hard to grind for, and are a lot of content's becoming less even 5-man available, squad available size. I think a lot of stuff's starting to become too big for that. Naval is literally a fucking regiment only thing. I don't think it is player friendly at all for normal people. At fucking all. And if you get on a boat that's not yours, you're going to be doing damage control and you will not be doing anything fun. And most of the time you're going to be sitting in silence because those groups are in a Discord waiting for you to just to repair their boat when they get hit. That's not fun game mechanic. I know every fucking colonial's crying and whinging, including me, about our super heavy. Super heavies aren't the fucking thing that win the war. But they're fucking cool and ours sucks. Again, not fun to make our super heavy. That's bullshit. That should be our pride of the fucking armor. It's not right now. I think when shit that is staples for each army gets nerfed, that's fucking annoying. The Collies used to be the Stampede, ballista Russian motherfuckers with throwing bombas in every fucking hole and crevice they could find. They've taken that from us. That's annoying. I think the Wardens getting their outlaws shipped to facility is annoying. That's a funny-ass clip, but that doesn't pertain to my point right now, Oddball. That's a very funny clip, but don't play that right now. You guys should play that right now if you guys haven't seen that clip. It's really funny. I personally also think, and this is another tinfoil hat thing. I'll go get my tinfoil if I have to, but I personally think Logi needs to be asymmetrical too. I know that sounds crazy.
Go on.
But here's my thing. If the Warden, like, I'm going to even go into this gunboat thing right now, right? The Collie gunboat, they even said it in their dev stream. It should not be on par with the Collie or the Warden one. There should be a different set of logistics that we can do to have our gunboat be mass produced more. We're the mass production faction. We get one buff being the mass production faction, and that's in one fucking tank. We get no MPF buffs other than one tank, and we're the spam faction. That's nuts. They're the heavy defensive faction, yet they are so fucking geared for offense with their cruiser tanks. They're not heavy set tanks. These aren't tank busters. They aren't tank they have cruiser tanks. They have one HCD, STD, and they're super heavy. That's their tank destroyer lineup. Our tanks are all assault tanks, mainly. We have 3 assault tanks, a light tank destroyer, and you can count Talos and stuff, but Talos is even considered assault tank. BT's assault. We're an assault faction. They're not playing into what our lore is. We're an MPF faction. We get MPF buff on one thing. They're a sturdy, heavy armor, fucking defensive faction. Yet they're not playing into their lore. They have more cruiser tanks than they have of anything else. That doesn't fucking make sense for a defensive faction. I think there should be asymmetrical fucking Logi. I think Collies, since we are the invading force, we should have more MPF buffs. Granted, a lot of our stuff should not be on par 1v1 against their shit, but it should be a lot cheaper, a lot more readily available. I see it fucking all the time when the game is played the way it's intended, where there's 5 Collie tanks and 3 Warden tanks. The game feels fucking sick. When there's infantry on infantry and not 15 on 15 tank line, the game feels good. Like, I remember it was a Nemesis and 2 Falchions with me, and we were fighting a HCD and a STD. The game felt awesome because we were doing flanks, we were pulling them, we were spanning them out to where they had to open up their sides, we were opening up their weaknesses, and they were picking on armor for being weak. It was cool. We're not having that. It's 15 on 15 tank brawl. It's fucking who can spam 300s first and break the most important conch and make fucking the most players quit. It's a really weird mix-up of the game right now. It's not any real... There is skill and tactics, but it's more of persistence of who's going to quit first. And not in a good way. the lore, we're not playing into our lore strengths. And to be honest, the lore fucking for the... This is just another pet peeve, and to be fair, I'll say I haven't read all the lore. Barely any. But the Ares fucking lore is disgraceful. It really pisses me off as a colleague to know that that's our lore for the Ares. And if you don't know what that is, our Ares got stolen by a fucking warden, and they fucking plowed with it. It was the most insane tank ever. And then we got it back. And then it was a super tank again. And that's essentially the fucking super heavy for the Ares lore.
So.
And then you hear the fucking warden one, and you get the most industrialized fucking super fucking pounder of the collies dumpstering everything in its vision. Like, dude, like, fucking we get it, bro. Our shit sucks compared to that thing. Cool. We'll let you have that one fucking shtick, but Jesus Christ, where's our shtick? Where's the collie shtick? Where's our fucking, we got this on ya? Yeah, I bet you are ready for the pounding cream pie. Captain Cream Pie. Absolute goober. Love you, dude. I don't know. Like, I said this to Legendary, and I've been speaking for a long time, and I hate when I talk like this much on my podcast, but I'm so passionate about, like, both sides having something fucking cool. I'm so cool with the Wardens having, like, the Germany fucking take on the war. They have the fucking Tigers and the Panthers and all the cool tanks, and that's what their shtick is. But the collies don't have a fucking shtick right now, in my opinion. We don't have an identity. And it fucking sucks to be on being the fucking, what is it called? The stepchild, bro. The ugly stepchild, the black sheep. You know?
Dude, the NPC faction. We're the NPC faction. Don't you read Reddit? We're the NPC faction.
Bro, that's bullshit!
It is bullshit, of course. But, you know. Whatever.
That's what I'm saying, though. What is our identity as a collie? Like, you guys are both collie. I know you played a lot of... You guys both play collie and warden. So you guys are not biased compared to me. What fucking cool thing do the collies have? And I'm going to tell you one thing you can't say. The Lanier. Name something that we really fucking got that's, like, dope as fuck.
Dusk.
That got nerfed.
I'm trying to give you a logistics answer.
You can get 5 tanks in a crate.
Which is a tough one. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the NPF. I want it removed, so I'm not gonna try.
To my fucking point! You're fucking thinking too long! I could have already answered so many things for the fucking wardens, bro. That's a bullshit.
Rancer. I'm a Rancer player. I love the Rancer. The Rancer's awesome.
All right,
Wardens
bro.
don't have a Rancer. The closest they have is 2 half tracks with foe breakers. Doesn't beat a Rancer. A decent Rancer is really hard to kill. It's awesome. It's a big tanky PvE no man land fighter. I really like the Rancer. It's a cool tank. I think there are warden tanks that are cooler, but the Rancers.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with
Wardens
you,
that have Rancers. Yeah.
They screwed over with the new suppression update and stuff. I think they completely fucked over the all the MG tanks for collies and wardens. The Scorpion doesn't shoot as laser accurate as it did. It blooms up when you just shoot it. It blooms to max when you get shot by 20 mil. Like, the Scorpion, its job was to be an infantry killer. It struggles to do that. It's just not... It's not what it used to be.
But to be fair, that's kind of the point of the infantry update. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna do some pushback here.
But that's the
point of the
too.
Infantry update is so that people inside trenches and don't immediately get deleted from at something that they can't see. And the Scorpion was your example specifically. The Scorpion was really good at mowing infantry down before they have a chance to do anything.
My whole point of it, though, is this. For 40 mil being shot at tanks, that wasn't very, like... You obviously saw, like, and you can't compare to real life, but tanks being, big shells being shot at infantry wasn't, like, insanely common. I'm talking in real life. In game,
Yeah.
But
Okay,
that's
in
the
real
thing.
life, sure,
They're taking that away. 40 mil being shot at infantry, I agree, should not be happening 24/7. But when you have a tank designed to take out infantry and it can't do its solo job, because that's its only fucking thing it's supposed to do, give intel and kill infantry. And if you wanted to do intel, I'd rather spend 80 B mats than 100 R mats to give you intel.
but okay, but really, are you losing Scorpions to infantry? Really?
No, I'm not
Is that
losing.
the number one threat that the Scorpion has right now? You're
Well,
losing your Scorpion to 6 outlaws in a line.
yeah, but still, the point I was trying to get at is they're taking away a lot of our. Yeah, Sticky Rush is getting behind it, but that's just bad tank gameplay. You're not watching your map. And if they're in recon uniforms, you were fucked anyway. You should have had infantry watching your back.
Yeah.
But regardless of the point, what I was trying to get to was they've taken away a lot of our strong suits. Like, a lot of what we used to be known for has really gotten stripped away in the past couple updates. I mean, you look at the Ballista. That was a Kali staple. Now facility. Is it taken away fully? No. Is it a lot harder to do what we used to? Yes. They took away the Boma Stone. They took away, like, ideology. They want the Ballista chassis to equal one of their chassis. So you're equaling the Ballista to either the Silverhand, Outlaw, or the HTD. Because if you're not equaling one of those, then we're just down a chassis. Unless you want to,
Nemesis.
Well, Nemesis now. But that's the thing. Like, the only thing you can now compare the Scorpion to is their scout tank. Which, that's really what you're comparing it to.
Yeah, but that's fine. But that's the but that's the nature of asymmetric game design. I'll be honest. The core identity, you're speaking of core identity, and I struggle to give an answer. But the core identity, in my opinion, is Colonials function a lot better with combined arms, whereas Wardens have an easy opt-out with mono weapon spam. And I think that's, like, for example, a Warden tank line is at its strongest when it's mostly fielded by the same tank that have the same, that so that they can all sort of like attack in unison. That is when Colonials do that, that is the weakest Colonial tank line that you'll ever see. Like, if you just have a line of Spathers, you're gonna die to HGDs and you're going to die to STDs. But if you have a tank line of pure Silverhand, god damn, you're gonna kill a lot of shit. If you have a tank line that's pure Outlaw, nothing's gonna touch you. And I think that Colonial's identity is combined arms, using differing tactics, not direct head-on collision fighting. And I think that a lot of the changes that the devs have been doing over the last couple of patches have been to increase that identity just a tad bit. Like, for example, a couple wars ago, I never saw any Scorpion on the front because you first had to take a Ballista, which is really powerful, and then take it to a facility and change it into a Scorpion. I actually like the Ballista change because I like seeing Scorpions on the front more because of radio coverage. It's a BMAT truck. It's good at suppressing stuff, and it's hilariously fun to play in. And I think that some of the changes that the devs have been making has been to cement this idea that Colonials are not supposed to just spam one thing and be good at it. You have to do multiple things.
So let me ask you this, though. Because this was talking, this was just said in the chat here from Milk, and this is a valid point. What tools do we have in our arsenal to really stop them when they are hiding behind concrete? That's the question from him.
I think, well, like I said earlier, I think concrete's overpowered. It's a force multiplier that makes it so that you don't need 10 defenders to defend a particular area anymore. You need one person with a hammer. So I really hope that they change concrete. Now, in previous wars, Collies had it really rough to fight concrete like early to mid-war. Wardens didn't because Wardens have two really powerful early game concrete busting weapons. That being their push 250. We now have a push 250. Cool. The Warden Satchel, in my opinion, is better at busting concrete than the Hydra, because the Hydra is supposed to be multi-purpose weapon, whereas the Satchel is single target, high yield damage, and you can carry multiple of them and not break a sweat. So, what happens when a tank line retreats into concrete? Not a whole lot, but you could probably say the same when colonials are hiding inside their concrete bases, lining up Stygian bolts. Like, you're not going to beat a concrete mega base with chieftains of their Stygian bolts sitting there waiting for you. Specifically if it's like sitting on top of bunker pieces behind sandbags and shit like that. I really hope at some point devs figure out a way for us to assault concrete in indirect ways. Like dropping paratroopers with hydras and stuff strapped to their chests, like on top of bunker cores.
Jraye, that's my
Just
one
an
question for you, going, because this is where I like to end all of my podcasts, and I'm not saying we have to end it, but what I was saying is, this is where I always really like to ask at the end, what do you hope out of air? And obviously, having elite infantry in their backline, Jraye, is going to be a really important fucking part of the game. What do you hope to see out of that, though?
My biggest hope, just a huge bump in players. Would love to see, like, I don't know, 15,000 people playing. It's my biggest thing that comes to mind. Just a bunch of folks that play around. The game's at its best when it's crazy populated, so
I think that's
they do a good enough job
true.
To attract everybody.
I think that's very true. That's just the only thing I can think of that is the true imbalance of the game, is how to get even numbers of players on both sides, and what would attract. That was the original statement, though, is what attracts players to either side, and we don't have really a lot of attraction to collies right now. And my point being, you said the Scorpion, or not the Scorpion, the Ransor. You said the Ransor.
Oh,
and my thing, we went off on a tangent there, but my point was they hurt the MG on all fucking tanks, which makes them not as accurate, which really bugs me, because that's their one, like the Scorpion specific, that's its one identity, that's its only trick it gets to play. I think it should be better. I think it should be like, they should buff it like they buff the LTD. I don't think it needs to be as good as it was, but I think it needs to be somewhere in the middle between where it is now and where it was. I think the MGs on all tanks that are focused MG specific need to be better. I think the Scorpion, I think the Warden's Kingspire, I think the Collie's Ransor, and I also think the Warden's, believe it or not, the goddamn Bone Law, which is the best tank in the fucking game at killing tanks. I think its MG needs to be better. I think MGs in general need to be better than where they are, but not as good as they were. I really, it frustrates me right now. I guess that's the point I was trying to say, is if a Scorpion's job is to kill infantry, it needs to be good at it, or why do we even have that tech in the first place? It's a junk tank. Much like the Highwaymen, I hope they do something to the Highwaymen. It's a junk tank right now. Don't want it in the game, or give it purpose. Point that I'm trying to make about you, Jraye, and what I'm trying to get in here, I hope that you have more influence now that you can actively get in backline and disrupt their shit, and you don't have to play on their terms. I'm very interested to see what you come up with, being able to pair drop, or if that's even something you're interested in, being a heavy infantryman. What does that look like for you? What are you looking forward to with that? Obviously you said you want the player base, but are you looking forward to pair dropping? Or are you looking forward to QRFing those paratroopers? Going and cleaning back all those nasty little shits behind our lines, because they're going to come for us just as much as we're coming for them. Obviously you play both sides, but that goes both ways too, So what I'm trying to say is, I've been talking to Legendary, bro, and I feel bad. You're on this podcast. I want to hear Jraye too. You know what I mean? Like, fuck.
All good. No, I get you. No, I'm excited to do everything. Yeah, I would do primarily frontline. I guess it will change. I haven't really thought about it, but yeah, I'll go to the back line. I'll defend against those paratroopers being dropped. I will absolutely be one of those paratroopers. I'll be dropped in some backline location and blow some shit up, do some partisan. But no, that it adds such a level of gameplay that I believe will be more accessible than, let's say, naval. I think that. I think so. That'll be a plus.
That's one thing I am happy you even touched on. I think a lot more players are going to be able to touch the air toys than naval. I want to be honest. Earlier, you asked if I think the game's ready. I think everything's ready but naval. Like I said, there's a few things I want touched, but goddamn, naval's so bad right now, and I don't think there's that many players that really love naval, except WN and those dirty little shits on the warden. I love you, WN. Just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of players that really get a, rock solid on the fucking naval.
Oh, hold up. Shout out to the Black Flag crew. Yeah, hold up. Don't hate on. Yeah.
Talking about TBSC. They're gunboat hooligans, dude. Those guys go crazy in gunboats, bro. And I'm so excited to see what they'll do in those new Collie gunboats. I think they're going to be vicious, dude. I really do. I think they're going to be nasty on those waters, dude. Because they were killing big boats, to be fair, with the worst variation of the gunboat we've ever had. Versus now, they're going to have a very competitive piece of equipment, in my opinion. I'm interested to see what they do with that.
Yep, no, fair.
I think it's going to be... What's that?
Sorry, yeah. No, sorry. I was going to ask Jerry a question after, but continue the gunboat. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh no, I'm just saying. I'm glad you brought that up, dude. Like TBFC, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think a majority of the player base. I'm not excluding the minute that do, but I'm just saying the majority of players probably haven't even touched naval, and if they have, got a nasty taste in their mouth. Like, just to be 100% honest, there's not a lot of enjoyable content that I've seen out of naval. I mean, Bones had a few experiences. I've seen some cool landings, but realistically, as a general, like, if I were to grade naval on a grade right now, I'd say a C-. And that's where I'd put the grading on naval right now. Is barely passing is legit, but it's there. It's a mechanic in the game. It's unchecked and unbalanced, but it's there. It's functional. Not good. But what were you gonna ask, Jraye?
I was gonna ask him, Jerry, how do you hope as a frontline heavy infantry guy, like how do you hope to fight planes? Just out of curiosity. Do you think your limitation will be, yeah?
I think we're just gonna get bombarded by. That doesn't strike me as a mechanic that seems possible. I don't know. Just for like an average gun, I don't know if you're gonna be able to just point up with an Argenti, whatever you call it. But yeah, I assume there's really not going to be much we can do. Maybe they'll give us some vehicles that will be hopefully scattered around the battlefield that might shoot up at them. But other than that, I think we're just gonna get bombarded. Well, maybe they'll show up on the. Maybe if we have some good intel, we'll have an indication of if it's coming or not. But.
I'm sorry, dude. Your take
right now, I think
your take on it is so fucking glum, bro. We're just gonna be in the fucking trenches taking bombs. Like, we're just gonna be eating the shit, dude. Like, that's all you sound so depressed right there. Like, fucking up there just eating fucking shit, dude. Oh no, Jraye. Fuck, dude.
No, that's fun. That sounds fun, right?
all I'm envisioning is Jraye having the. Do you know the 1,000-mile stare guy?
Dude, like, literally.
With the yeah, like Jraye's like, oh, like Jraye's like finally survived the 150 barrage. Oh, thank God, 150, I could get through the craters. And then like air siren going off. Oh no! Here comes the call. Here comes the thunderbolts were just silenced. Here comes the collie, stupid heavy bombers.
My mind just goes to artillery, and it's just that, but tenfold. So it's just gonna be.
This is gonna be Jraye when he hears the air raid sirens. Look at the chat real quick. This is gonna be Jraye. Do you see that in the chat over there? That's gonna be you as soon as you hear the air raid sirens.
I think at the bare minimum, Jraye, at least.
That'll be fun.
I think you'll at least have EMGs to play with at bare minimum. Maybe you'll have like air lamentums, like maybe you can like tilt the tripod up and like tilt up a Typhon, or tilt up the ISG, the Castus, and then it fires flak 30 mil. I don't know. I don't think you're gonna be completely defenseless. Just put it that way.
Dude, do you think they're gonna?
I'm fascinated.
Do you think they're gonna add like the field machine gun? Do you think they're gonna have like, what if the fucking field 20 mil is anti-air? That actually gives that thing purpose. It's ass, bro. Get it out. Get it out. But what if? Finally give it life. It could, dude.
Just take the 20 mil, toss it, make it a tripod round.
That could be cool. Hold on. So what I'm talking about, what the fuck? Where is it? If we could get like a flak Veerling, dude. Like, what if we could make the 20 mil push guns, right? So you put it on a pad, you make the 20 mil push gun, but then you could make this bad boy if you put two of them together.
That's already Foxhole concept art, my guy. Hold up. That shit was already like conceived by the devs. One sec.
Ooh. Might get
One
some
sec.
cool pictures
Inside.
Here's my
what
thing.
inside? I'm foxholeblog.com.
Getting the inside
Yeah, sorry.
Ray. My big thing though, in all honesty, this is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping for infantry in this. I hope we get uniforms. One thing is that I think is going to be a major buff that I don't think a lot of people are thinking about is the Kali flak vest might actually have a lot more purpose on the ground now to not get hit by bombs as effectively. Obviously 120s and 150s show that you're still going to get fucking smashed. Jesus. It's fucking sick. What if dude, do you know what those look like? Those look like mounts that you're going to throw on a boat. Those look like boat installations.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I really feel like those are like plug inside of boat here.
Field modification naval shipyard or whatever pier. Field modification pier.
Oh, ice. That dude. Okay. Oh, hold on. So he's talking about putting
here.
Well, dude, you have. Why can I not put my Raptura on the back of a heavy hauler and give me a fucking flak bus like this? Why is that not? Why can't I put an 88 on the back of a flatbed and larp my ass off? Dude, imagine if you could slap a Raptura on the back of a flatbed.
That'd be fun.
I think the mechanic could be possible, but we need to get rid of the MPF. At some point, Bear, we need to sit down and I need to tell you why we need to remove the MPF from Foxhole. Like, I will blow your mind.
We're in a fucking podcast. Put on the tinfoil hats.
We'll be
going on for
2.5 hours. I could yap about this for 3 hours. We'll pick that up at another point.
Bro,
Let's talk about air.
Hey,
Let's continue talking about air. Air is
bro.
exciting. Let's talk about air.
My last podcast went for 3 hours, and guess what? I own this fucking podcast. We can go as long as we fucking want. They might not watch the episode, but I could do whatever the fuck we want. All right, we could do this if we want it. Jray's probably gonna fucking lose his mind by then. He's gonna have to go kill someone on the front.
Yeah.
I can see the blood starting to circulate into his eyes. He's starting to get mad. He wants to get a trench gun and clear a trench.
Has been a while.
No, Jray's not in the bone zone. Jray's just on here, hanging out in the podcast, dude. It's his second time on here, and yeah. I mean, we're really just finishing up our air talks. Like the AA, it's all speculation. I really hope I can LARP with a Raptura, have it be a dual purpose. I really hope that we can have some cool new AA. But here's the real deal, right? And here's the real meat and potatoes of this podcast that I wanted to talk about to the public and with you guys. The deadline, right? We can speculate all we want on air. We can speculate all that we want in the game. We can cry about balance. We can cry about pop. We can cry about what they did. Crying is not a good... We're not crying, but you get what I'm saying. But the real thing that if I wanted the devs to hear this conversation that we've had, you need to give us an updated timeline, and I want you to be really fucking transparent on these next couple of wars if you're gonna end them fucking quick. It needs to be transparent from this point forward. 1. 2, I really would like to see some more leaks being dropped in these next 2 updates. It has been almost 8 months since we've seen any fucking air talked about. We're all going fucking insane being curious about what's going on. What'd you do? Oh my god, I can't believe you got permaban. I want to see a Kali fighter, okay? I want to see a Warden bomber, so I know what I can shoot down. I want to know what I'm going to be aiming at with my Flak 88 bus, alright? I want to see what Jray's going to be dropping with. I want to see that new fucking paratrooper uni, alright? I want to see some naval boy fucking unis. Where's the naval uniforms?
Or not naval update.
Naval 2.0. Please.
True.
I don't know, man. I want to see some shit. What do you guys want to see coming up? Just a final thoughts kind of thing. You know, obviously I don't want to keep you guys too long. I do like to keep the podcast around 2 hours. You know, we can go as long as we want. I'm not going to cut you guys if we want to chat. I have enjoyed this talk a lot, to be honest. I enjoy both of you guys on this podcast, and thank you for being here. But, you know, what do you guys, you know, if you guys could say anything to the people watching and or the devs, what would you guys want to tell them? What would you guys want to, you know, what would you guys want to say? What do you want in the game? What do you want added? What do you want to be heard? What do you want changed?
Jray, you first.
All right. What is it? Yeah, that's hope there's a lot of work to be done before that air update. You know, maybe tutorials would be nice. Maybe a little bit more transparency. Maybe a little bit more balancing. Just maybe like a little bit of love in like every aspect of the game. Like maybe make some of the loops a little bit more enjoyable, such as logi or building. Make that less of a hassle. Make it less of a second job. Might get more people doing it, and just I don't know. Try and make it more accessible. Just make it, you know. Make it so that when we get those 15,000 people in that air update, that they want to hang around, and then the next update we will not see a crazy drop in people. That's my hope, is that we can just see this game blow up and get to say, hey, we've been doing this since before it blew up. That'd be cool. That's what I want.
Lovable answer.
Nice.
Very lovable answer.
Yeah, that's great.
Fucking
Yeah, great.
Top notch. Said like a true fucking politician. No.
No, it's perfect.
No,
Good neutral answer.
I like it though,
Hell yeah.
seriously.
So from my side too, one, please allow the awesome response from Jraye to be true, and if that gets implemented, I think he should be rewarded by being allowed to attach a bayonet to the new shotgun. There you go, Jraye. I
Hey,
hit one out for you there.
hey, you know what I'm saying? Straight
Appreciate it.
up, dude. Shoddy, bayonet, collie only, fuck the pillory. Bayonets don't go on double barrels. Give us a fucking true trench shoddy, baby.
There you go.
Oof.
There you go.
There'll be
So,
nobody left.
but from my side, the big thing I want from Airborne, and this is the big thing I yap about on YouTube, is I really want both factions to work together to get those birds flying. I don't want. Look, I'm from WL. I'm the guy. We're the guys who like sit in the back line and produce all the toys. I don't want WL to just solo build bombers and fighters. I want people like Big Bear to bring the Bone Boys in, and the Bone Boys have like all the fuselages. I want T3C to work with us. I want T3C to bring in those engines. I want them to bring their like 13 train queue of like, you know, airplane engines. Bring that into the WL Mega facility. I want Shred to run around the facility, QRFing nonstop, protecting those birds being built. I want mass player collaboration specifically so that we can build bombers, because I think they're going to be like a pre nuke missile super weapon. And unlike the battleship and the Tempest and the Ares and the a lesser degree the SPGs, which are like pseudo super weapons, I really feel like bombers, because of their ability to range anywhere that they want to go, only being limited by probably weather and the amount of fuel that they carry, you're gonna need mass player collaboration, not just one regiment making the things. It needs to be like everyone needs to get together to build these planes, or else the battlefield is just going to be dominated by bombers, and that's something I don't want. I don't want like I don't want the entire game to shift to if you don't build anti-air, it doesn't matter what else you build. I want it so that air is going to be a problem for people, but it isn't the only problem left on the battlefield. I still want partisans to be strong. I still want naval to be strong. I still want siege tanks like ballista rushes to be strong. I want satchel rushes to still be strong. You know, all that shit. That's my big thing. So I want mass player collaboration for both sides to get air toys out. I don't want it to be like, oh, give some rare mats to WL and they'll make the battleships, because that's how it currently is, and I don't like that. I want more people. I want more people in facilities. I want more collaboration. I want more logistics, and the only way to do that is to make the toys expensive, but because of that, the toys are going to be strong. The bombs are going to be big. They're going to be juicy. They're going to make big explosions. The paratroopers are going to have free range. We're gonna drop people. We're gonna have true partisans. We're gonna drop partisans to like cut frontline logistics.
Maybe even hold
like,
a town if they can actually drop in there and
yeah.
demo it quick enough. Actually tap a town,
Yeah,
you know,
like
and hold a town
like
back
tap
line.
ups. Yeah. Yeah, like, you know, as the war, like take this for example, the Wardens are like pushing into Barony Ranch. Let's drop some paratroopers in Fairmore and tap Fairmore if they're not paying attention. You know, drop a CV next to their town, but you know, wild cool stuff. But it comes at the cost that the birds to make it and the amount of like logistical support required to get the bomber in the right spot at the right time, you know, outside of enemy intelligence, things like that. That requires not just a dozen players working together or 100 players working together. It needs literally like a solid 1,000 players, collaboration, everyone, and then everyone gets to see the result of that and have a lot of fun doing it. That's my big hope for Airborne. I just want more player collaboration, more people working together, more people doing logistics. That's my goal, and you know, everyone has a chance to jump out the airplane and have fun. The lowly sergeant who just started last week, and you know, the field marshal that has like 20,000 hours in the game. Or everyone's going to be equal. Everyone's going to jump out the plane. Everyone's going to have fun. That's my big takeaway for Airborne, and that's my hope at least. So Devman, make the planes hard to make so that we can all collaborate and have fun doing it. Player satisfaction.
My my take that I want for the devs to hear. I want the game to feel fun for both factions in different ways. I want things to be overpowered on both sides that aren't fair. And I want both sides to be able to abuse them, but have counters to them, both sides. I would really like to see, because of the Kali Navy in its general procession right now, I really want to see the Colonial Air Force not only be able to do bombings and all this, I would really, really like to see an anti-naval plane. And not only do I want to see an anti-naval plane, I want to be able to see buildable airstrips on the islands so you don't have to require only boats to come save your ass if boats are in hex. I want to have planes be able to deter boats. I want that to be an expensive exchange. But what I want is if there's a frigate coming to nail Fisherman's Row and we have an airstrip, we get 4 or 5 torpedo bombers in the air. If we land 3 hits and you have 3 big holes, you either leave or die. But if you kill one of those torpedo bombers, it is going to take a fuckload of logistical work to replace that torpedo bomber. I want that to be an expensive asset. And I want you, if you come and strike us and drop paratroopers on our shit and kill those planes and then come in with Navy, or you have a bombing strike come kill our airstrip and we can't get off the ground and our planes are worthless, you should dominate the area. But I want to see true I want to see some real engagement from air. I don't want it to be this plushy, little, weak, shitty, slow, easy to shoot down, very hard hitting. I want to see a fucking plane moving at 400 knots. Not knots. 400 miles per hour, dive bombing a plane or a boat. I want to see when that torpedo hits, that boat gets shifted like it gets hit with a normal sub. You know, I want it to be like a oh shit moment when you get a torpedo and when you're getting holes in your boat and you try to run away, those planes might follow you into the next hex and finish you off. You know, I want to see some Imperial Japanese battleships getting fucking nailed by the U.S. fucking torpedo bombers, bro. I want to capsize some fucking boats. You know, I want some hunter killers out there. I want Wake Island to be real. You know what I mean? I want to see motherfucking 10,000 fucking Warden planes come up and we're looking at them like Pearl Harbor 2.0 is about to happen out in Fisherman's Row. You know what I mean? I am for the fun and the LARP. I don't give a shit about win-loss. I can lose happy. Make it fun, though. I do not give a shit about true balance. I don't give a shit about feeling. Well, that's actually what I do care about the most. I want it to feel fucking good, win or lose both sides. I want the winner to be fucking bloodied up and massacred, but he won the fist fight. I want the loser to know that that dude's going to be fucking, he had a good fight. He had a really good fight. You know what I mean? If that's one thing I could tell the devs, I want both sides, win or lose, to feel good. That's the ultimate goal I want. You know, I think you can make asymmetry however the hell you want. Stop listening to the guys that pull stat sheets up and fucking bitch, gripe, and complain about every little nook and cranny. If the game feels good, don't fucking change it. That's really my biggest piece, dude, is I want the game to feel good. Any way you play it, I want it to feel good. Not lag, but that needs to be buffed too. You know, I want better servers. Lag is really hurting the LARP, but I want both sides to feel really strong, and I want both sides to feel like they have an even chance, and not this downtrodden fucking we're just fucked, bro. This side's just so much better, and this crybaby attitude. You know, I want them to be like, all right, they're bringing out their big toys. Let's whip out our shit and let's figure it out. You know, and I just want the game to be competitive and feel good. You know, at the end of the day, everyone wants to win, but I would rather lose and have fun than win and be having a shitty attitude and being a little scumbag. You know what I mean? That's my perception of the devs. Make the game feel good. Don't fucking worry about all the bullshit. It'll pan itself out, and you can always change the numbers. But if the game feels good to the players and the players are happy on both sides, you aren't going to get complaints. That's my 2 cents.
Look at Helldivers too. They got a lot of shit for their balance, and they made all the weapons just crazy powerful, and then now everybody's happy.
And they were transparent, and when they weren't transparent, their game almost died. Might want to take a hint. Just saying. But anyway, I think that's a good episode. Guys, do you have anything else you want to say to the lovely viewers of the chat? Any questions? Play more Foxhole.
Play more
I
Foxhole.
second that.
Get your friends to play. If they need a tutorial guy, hit me up. I'll teach you all logi stuff. And if you want to die over and over, play against Jraye, which hopefully is on that side of the screen.
I'll Sergeant Berg will take care of you, dude. Sergeant Berg will teach you how to build. I don't know. Just fucking play the game. If you want to join Bone, come on, we're recruiting. We'll get you in a tank. Destroy Jraye. Oh my god, Ice. Can you believe he said that, Jraye? Oh my god, dude.
I can't believe he said that. I'd be surprised if he didn't, honestly.
All right, guys, that was a really good, good stream. I'm gonna hop over to Repo. I know I just talked about Play Foxhole, but my boys just bought me Repo. Shit's pretty funny, dude. I'm not gonna lie. But we are playing Foxhole. Also, Legendary Jraye. I do need to PM you guys. Bone does have over 10,000 tremolas, and we have a lot of free time over the next few days.
Drop them in Blem, dude. Drop them in Blem.
Just saying.
I'll go through him.
Shit might go crazy
find a
over the
way.
next few days. Just saying. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. You guys are great guests. I appreciate all the viewers in here. I really hope to keep this going and keep the Boneyard alive. And if you guys are interested in ever getting on, PM me. Also, I want to give out the shout-outs. Legendary, go follow him on YouTube. He drops some really good content. And Jray's probably about to go murder innocent people in Foxhole in about 10 minutes. I guarantee it. So
I don't know about innocent.
Innocent people. Yeah, innocent.
Yeah.
What wardens deserve everything they get. Those damn fruity blueberries.
what's that on your back wall?
At least
there,
he's
Jraye?
playing. At least he's playing blue this one.
Hey, Jraye, what's that on your wall back there?
What's up?
What's that on your wall back there?
Is it the colonial flag?
No, I see the good flag. I see some shitty flag
Oh.
being hung on the same level as the good flag. And I don't know what the fuck's up with that, buddy.
What do you mean? He's got a smoothie.
Wha- Yeah.
All right.